Hello and welcome to Two Indoor Gaming, and it's time to do an update review. I was just holding off on doing a review for the R33 release, and they went and released R33.5 for me, so I guess I can put them both together. But this review is for the free-to-play version of Creativerse, and before that would have been obvious, the whole game was free to play, but really there's now a dual level membership for this game. You can either be just standard free play or you can have a pro account. See here, I'm demonstrating on a free to play account here. It's giving me upgrade to pro. They're giving incentives for you to put your money down to pay for the game. Now all those people that have already paid for the game or paid for items in the game have automatically been upgraded to pro, but anybody who has come along and has purely enjoyed the free-to-play model is now being asked to upgrade, and they're giving incentives to get you to do that. Now I'm fine with that model of income generation. One worry I have had with this game is that they've put so much into it, and by supporting the servers themselves rather than charging for servers and things like that, I was worried a little about whether it was economically sustainable and whether we would see the game sort of fall over as the developers ran out of funds. So they've been pursuing a few different income generating ideas, and I guess this is one they're trying out or they're settling on. Either way, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you enjoy a game, you pay for it. I know I tried this game out when it was free to play weekend back in September of 2015, I think it was, and I enjoyed playing it, and so when it came off free to play I paid for the game, and I've bought a few things since then because I've enjoyed exploring all that's available for the game. I have no problem financially supporting the game. What this review isn't so much about a criticism of whether that's bad or wrong, but just what can you expect if you are playing free, and what are you missing out on, I guess. So with these updates, they've added a lot of new gameplay for every player, and that's a lot to do with switches and circuits and powering things up, and you can do wonderful things like powering up your lights and your beacons like so, and they've added in relays and delays and all sorts of fantastic options. If you want to explore those, there's a few good videos out there. I've got a couple of little tips on just the basics of this function. So I'll put a link to that, but you can find it on my channel. It's all sorts of different mechanisms and opportunities, and this is going to look pretty good. I've deliberately started this review closer to nighttime so that this would be just a little bit more obvious. So we've got things here that make things go and make things stop and all that sort of thing, and I've got my little makeshift TARDIS here on a delay circuit. Yeah, so if you like redstone in Minecraft or just like fiddling with circuits and that sort of thing, I think there's a few other games out there like that, then there's plenty for you to play with, and that's available to everybody. There's no function of the gameplay really that is locked between pro and free. There's just a couple of functions that are. As for other new materials, we're looking at they've added to just the wood sign. That was very limiting in how you set things up. Now there's a wood plaque and a stone plaque and a stone sign and a hanging stone sign. So you've got a lot more options for marking your stuff or doing up towns and directions. Yeah, I like it. It's a simple touch, something that I was hoping for a while ago. I'm glad that they've implemented that. I know a lot of other people are very happy with that change, so that's nice. Obviously with circuits and things, you've got more opportunity for working out traps of various complexities or difficulties. To aid that, they've added with 33.5 a trapdoor. Oh, watch out, you'll fall down in the pit. Which is you can do with circuits and stuff. So how easy that'll be to hide and whatever, well, that'll be things that'll develop, and seeing the trapdoor come in so quickly certainly says to me that they're aware of just how much people want to make traps, so I'm sure that they'll be building in functions that will add to that hidden capacity. Interestingly, campfires can be switchable, and of course you can either use these switches or the pressure plates over here, like so. So you've got all that sort of functionality. So some nice additions. They've done a heap of bug fixing with lighting. There's a few other items that I don't have here, like there's an iron fire pit. If you're familiar with the wooden fire pit, I just haven't developed this free account all the way to corruption yet, so I don't have access to a couple of the items that are available. So you've got the stone fire pit. So they've just got an iron one now as well, so it gives you more options for your decorations, and that fire pit is also switchable. There's also a corruption obelisk. It's got a nice design. You can look that one up. It looks a bit gnarly. It provides a sign, like you can write stuff on it, and it will very slowly turn basic blocks to corruption blocks. Yeah, you've got this nice little number pad feature for unlocking things. Let's see if I can remember the code from my other tutorial. Put some numbers up. Is it doing it? What is going on? I think that's it. Let's see. Hey, there it is. Yep, so we've got number pad lockouts and all sorts of stuff. Lots of opportunities, especially for those that love their logic and their circuitry, for doing all that sort of stuff. These switches, lots of fun to be had there, basically. So feature-wise or gameplay-wise, there's some great additions there, some new blocks, some new functionality. But if you're a free player, the thing that's going to stand out between you and a pro player in the game, one thing is they've increased the chest size for everybody. So your Architect chests are now actually larger than your regular, your Architect and your Grand Architect. There's actually a difference in size, and they're a lot larger than they used to be. Every chest has actually gotten bigger, so that's good for storage, because that always gets out of hand. I hate doing that. But if you're a free player, nothing will have changed with your inventory, what you're holding. You've still got 40 places. They haven't taken anything away, but if you're a pro player, they have given you 20 extra inventory slots. That's a lot of extra capacity for carrying stuff around. It is very handy. So you won't have that practicality. You do have, this is the mining tool, the wiring tool that interacts with all your electrics. But those two extra buttons here for pro players, they get a flashlight and a glider. Again, so nothing's been taken away gameplay wise from a free player, but a pro player gets the bonus of two extra functions. They got a flashlight so they can see their way around, and a glider, which is great for getting around as well, but getting down from heights too is fun. It's fun and it's easy. So they're nice little touches that don't give too much of a bonus to you. I mean, you don't have. It means you don't get caught in the dark if you run out of torches when you're in a cave. But if you're smart, you're still laying torches behind you. Otherwise, you're leaving spawnable space behind you. So yeah, it's handy, but it's not really a super advantage, I wouldn't say. The pro players do have a boost to their stamina. Apparently it lasts a lot longer. So you might be able to outrace a free player if you're a pro player, but I'm not sure how many times that's going to come up. Because from what I could tell, I don't know anybody who really does a lot of PvP on Creativerse, but I just can't imagine it would be that. It's not really a PvP game. Not in my opinion anyway. So gameplay wise, free players, you still get most of the bonuses. There's a couple of extra things that pro players get. The biggest difference though is in the world creation. You'll notice here they've added a few new world modifiers to the game. So we've seen before, no explosives, no PvP, default to visitor, and peaceful creatures, recipe carryover. But we've got new ones like low gravity, celestial skybox, easy mode, hard mode, more regrowth, more treasure, and sparse creatures. These are all new. One of the world modifiers has been taken away, and that is the on your map system claims. That's now every world is claimable. That's now default for everything. So it's not a modifier, something you choose anymore. But you'll notice here all of these are grayed out. So this is a world that this account has created. This is my wife's account, if you're wondering. But there's no modifiers available. To actually choose any of these modifiers, you need to be a pro player. Right. Now, the biggest thing with that, for mine, is default to visitor. That is no longer available to you as a free player. So that means any world you invite people to, as soon as you give out your password to somebody, it's obviously less secure, but now you don't have that backup security of meaning even if somebody gets your password who you don't want to have it, when you could have them default to visit, they couldn't do anything unless you gave them permission or one of your admins gave them permission. Now if somebody gets a hold of your password or guesses it, they can come in and lay havoc to your world. That is no longer, that bugs me. That it just means if you're a free player, you're more vulnerable to griefing than somebody who isn't. Okay, maybe they think that's a low possibility, but I don't like it. I just don't like it. And I think free players are getting ripped off on that factor. No longer having that. As for these other functions, they are still available to you as a free player if you know somebody who is a pro player who's created a world, because they can set all that. You can still join their world and enjoy all of those features because they're world set, not player set. So if a pro sets up a world with any of those or most of those features, modifiers on, if you can get into their world, they give you permission, then you can have that fun. You can jump around in low gravity. You can have more regrowth and sparse creatures or whatever else that they've set for you. So that encourages a little bit more of that social play. I have no idea what's happening with social worlds. They came, they went. Maybe they've ditched them as a bad idea, but so that's locked to you. Also, what it means for you as a free player is you only get one world. You can't create multiple worlds as a free player. You have to be a pro player in order to create multiple worlds. Like I said though, generally the only reason I have multiple worlds is because I'm joining other people's servers or I'm sharing maps. For other people, you might have one where you're creating this sort of type of world and another world where you want a modern theme. This world you want a, say, a Middle Ages theme or whatever. Maybe that's going to bug you. If you've already created them, if you had your free account before these updates, then your worlds will still be there. You can't delete them though, so if you had 10 worlds and you're sick of 9 of them, well, you're going to have 10 worlds unless you ask the admin, send them an email or something to delete them. Apparently that works. But with your one world, if you've just started, you've just logged in, if you've got one world, if you want to start a new world, you're going to have to reset the world you've already got. I don't know if that resets the world map. I'm not sure that it does. Whether you get a different one of the 6 odd base world seeds, or whether once you've got a world seed, you got to stick with it forever. You can wipe the slate clean every time you reset it. So yeah, you can't keep one and say, okay, well, I'm happy with that world, but I don't want to play it anymore, but I want to keep it and start a new one. Sorry, that option is no longer available to you. If you want to do that, you're going to have to pay for the privilege of doing it. That's what you're missing out on as a free player. And that's the biggest difference between free and pro. It's your world creation opportunities and options. They're not available to you. Is that good for you? It comes down to what type of player you are. Again, personally, I don't mind paying for a game that I love playing, and I've played like 900 hours of Creativerse. Obviously, I'm doing videos and I love this game. I have no problems spending money I have spent on it. some people just don't have that opportunity. They don't have the funds. I'm sorry, you're just going to have to take what you can get from the game. As like I said, from the gameplay, I don't think I'm getting too ripped off as a free player. Again, I do not resent Playful trying to generate income for themselves. I'm just telling you what you've got available as a free player versus a pro player. Okay, well, I think that's about all. I mean, you can read the release notes if you're interested in what sort of door bug fixes they've done. There's admin fixes for owners of worlds who want to change permissions or whatever. They've streamlined that somewhat. They've added some new ban type features. You can mute everybody so you don't have to listen to the chat and have those constant messages popping up, which would be wonderful if you're in a busy world with quite a few members in it. So you can ignore everybody. But the main things are, you've got your wiring, you've got your lighting, and other sort of sequencing blocks, new LED, look nice, colourful, new signs, and yeah, less worlds if you're a free person. Thanks for watching. I'll keep you up to date on any more changes they do for 34, or maybe they'll do R33 3/4. I just don't know. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you later on 2 Indoor Gaming.